We're in week 4 of the King's College football season, and we are joined once again by Monarch football coach Jeff Nahr. Coach, thanks for taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, looking back to last week real quick, after a tough loss to a veteran Albright College team on Saturday, our team showed some very good things. But as in the previous 2 games, the good was accompanied by some bad. What was your overall impression of the team's performance against Albright, and how has the team improved since the first week of the season?
Overall, we felt we definitely improved from week 2 to week 3. Did some really good things. Made plays, which we talked about, which we didn't really do against Lev Val. And we kind of limited plays from Albright as far as a big play scenario. The game changed kind of on 3 things that we feel we need to do a better job and try to do a good job week in and week out. Special teams where we kind of let a punt hit the ground and roll, and it rolled 25 yards, and instead of having around the 35, it's at the 10. So that flipped field position and gave Albright a short drive for their first touchdown. Then we threw an interception deep in our territory, so 2 of their drives covered just over 50 yards for scoring, and then then we had a punt blocked. We just blew a protection, and it didn't take care of that. So we got to be solid in the kick game, because those 3 things, 3 scores for Albright, pretty easily scores, kind of were the difference in the ball game. And then we made a play with at the half, which was an outstanding play. They get a touchdown on a kick game, but then giving one back neutralizes that.
The offense really seems to be settling in on a good balance of run versus pass. But I'm sure you'd like to see the running game get a little more on track, as the numbers are down from this point in the season a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think way the schedule we've played, in comparison, may affect the numbers a little bit. And then on Saturday, we had a 47 or 50-yard run, call back on a hold, that you can't have. And then we had a 4th down when they stuffed us at the line, and then we tried to make a play, and we kind of went, to run, circle the D, gave up some yards, and ended up, having a big loss. So, skewed his stats a little bit there. But as overall, the balance is there, but we do have to get more consistent in the run game. The other part is, we've had to, throw it a little bit more, later in the games, as once you're behind, you get off with the game plan. But when we're in the games in the beginning of the game plan, we've seen pretty good balance, and we're excited about that. And again, the passing game, has definitely improved, every week.
At quarterback, Tyler Hartranft got off to a little bit of a slow start this season, but he really seemed to make a lot of progress last week against Albright. Talk about what he has done to get better.
He's, again, he's what you want in a quarterback. He understands that it's more than just on the practice field. He's always in here watching film, and he's upstairs as we speak right now, watching film and working on his technique and his fundamentals, and he was seeing, the things that he wasn't doing or that he could do better, and he works really hard on those in practice. And then you saw that, on the field, is that, he wasn't making, some of the mistakes he made in week 2, and then he was a little bit more sharper with his pass.
Coach, this week is a rivalry game as your Monarch squad travels 10 miles up Route 309 to face Misericordia University. Talk about this matchup.
It is. A rival. Before they started football, still a rival with the school, being 2 Catholic institutions. So there's a lot of rivalry in that, in the programs and shared programs. So there's a long-standing relationship with that, and then just any kind of relationship. You want to beat your brother, per se, in everything that you do. So now that they play football, it's taken on a different tune of the rivalry, and we're excited to be a part of that and looking forward to it. And it's a great challenge in front of us, as they're looking for the first win, and they've kind of circled us as a team that they're going to get it against, and they have homecoming, so they're going to be fired up, and our kids need to be ready to go, take their best shot, and play consistent football, so we can get our first win.
One thing that jumps off the board quickly about Misericordia is that their offense is really producing this year, putting a lot of yards on the stat sheet. Right now, Misericordia is utilizing a read option offense and leads the MAC in rushing yardage at 305 yards per game. Their quarterback, Jeff Puckett, currently leads the MAC with an average of 131 rushing yards. So what is the key to containing that ground game?
The key there is everyone doing their 111th, their job. Because it's a read defense. He's reading people, and if you do this, I'm going to do that type of thing. So we can't have guys trying to make a play or trying to go off the reservation, so to say, and try to do something that's not there. If they have the the dive. They got to play the dive all day. They have the quarterback, got to play the quarterback, all day, because they're relying on, all right, well, I'm going to go play the dive this time, and now the quarterback keeps it and goes. So it's about being disciplined in your assignments when you're playing an offense, like this, which is, easier said than done.
Well, the Misericordia offense has been putting up big rushing numbers. They rank last in the conference with only 60.3 passing yards per game. But last week against Wilkes, we saw them break off a couple of long touchdown passes. So clearly they're now showing the ability to extend the field.
Yeah, they have a good. They moved the one corner, the Pettis, Jackson kid, who's like a great athlete. I think they moved him to wide receiver. He's a playmaking kind of a guy. And again, they run, and then they start to see people, not do what they need to do, and then next thing you know they can get behind them, and then they, hit you for a play action, pass.
Is this the type of game where it is important for our offense to get off to a fast start and perhaps take a little bit of confidence out of their defense?
Absolutely. We need to kind of, possess the football because they want to go at, at a breakneck speed, and then we got to be productive, with the football and consistent, and be able to move the ball down and then finish drives with points, and then, need a good balance. Last year, we were heavy run, and then have to throw it a little bit. I think, this year we're going to need to be, still be balanced and be productive and take advantage of opportunities and make plays to extend drives, to get scores. Keep our defense off the field, and then put points on the board, because Misericordia is going to move the football, and score points, and we got to be able to match that and then some, against our defense.
Misericordia has clearly made a lot of improvement from last year. Their games are much more competitive. What are the biggest differences you have seen between this year's Misericordia team and last season's?
Offensively, they got an offense that it's keeps you moving at a fast pace, so people can't get lined up. You can't sub from there, and then they're just going to quick run plays at you and rely on guys necessarily not taking advantage of you not in the right gap here and there, and hit you, and then move from there. So their offense is a different fast pace, and help them move the ball and get yards from there. And then defensively, they're a year older, a year stronger, and they're getting better in their schemes, and then getting more guys in the box, and trying to stop the run, and being sound in the pass game, not trying to get anybody behind them, giving up the big play, limiting that from that standpoint.
And finally, Coach, Kings has the distinction of being Misericordia's homecoming opponent on Saturday. In essence, their homecoming was scheduled around you being their opponent. Do the players on the team take offense to that, to being perceived as the sacrificial lamb so that Misericordia can have a happy homecoming? Is that used by motivation by the players and even the coaches to prepare the team mentally?
We haven't gotten the homecoming. We talked about the point, though, which we brought up, is that they think that we're going to be the one that they're going to get their first win on. So you do schedule homecoming. You try to for the most part, if you can, bring an opponent in that you can play with, and they think they can beat. And it's since they started the program, we're the team they've circled as the game. We just remind our kids that that's going to be a great challenge in front of them to go into a hostile environment. It's going to be I'm sure an exciting environment, a lot of fans there, people there for their homecoming festivities, and then they have to chance to play and get better than they were last week. And then if they do that, we'll get the W. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and it's a rivalry game, so our kids are fired up for that. And then they realize, this is, they've been pointed out and called out as the one that is going to give Misericordia their first win, and then they're committed and going to work hard to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well, Coach, that's all the time we have for today. Good luck Saturday when your Monarchs travel to Dallas, Pennsylvania to face Misericordia University at 1 p.m. at Mangelsdorf Field.
Thank you.